Hey, what's up, My name is Bill. My channel is Pros, Dialed Lasers, and CNC. And a few days ago, I made a video on ornaments for a fall tree. You know, it has like the leaves that are fall colors and all, and it's for inside, indoor. And I made a couple different designs. If you didn't see it, go ahead and check that video out. It's kind of a neat little video. But today I kind of thought it'd be neat to bring you along on a ride to show you how I kind of created a little turkey napkin holder. That's your front, that's your back, that's your front, that's your back, whatever it is you have it. Well, you just set your napkins right up inside there. And if this was your table, that's what it would kind of look like sitting up on your table. It's got the little feet, so you can see how it just sits right up on top of the heels of the feet. It'd be kind of a neat little thing if you were trying to bring it to someone's house. You know, if you were going to someone's house, you want to bring them a little something. This would be a neat little thing to bring them. So if it's something that you want to see or, you know, check out, just stand by. I'll jump on the computer here in a second and bring you along on a ride, let you see how I created this and designed this. Like I said, a lot of people are always looking for stuff you want to bring to someone's house. You know, you show up at their house, you don't want to show up empty-handed or just bring a plate. So you can bring something like this and give it to them and let them put it on their table. All it is just got slots and tabs. And all you do is you just put your slots and tabs together, just like that. And you put CA glue on them or wood glue, whatever the case is, and it just snaps together like that. So if it's something you want to see, stand by. I'm going to jump on the computer now in a minute, and I'll take you for a ride and show you how I did it. All right, thank you. All right, I'm back here at my computer. The first thing we're going to kind of go over here on this is going to be the image that I've already had. It was in my arts library, so I just pulled it out. You can go on the internet and you can find any image you want. It all applies to the same way, but I'm just going to use this one here and kind of show you how I designed that other one like I showed you and how I went about it. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to click on this outer line, and then I want to go over here to offset. Now on offset, I want to have it at 0.51 that'll be fine. We're going to select that, change that to a red layer. That'll be our cut layer. So you have all the blue is going to be our engrave layer, and then you have the red one is going to be our cut layer. So that's it for the turkey. You can go on the internet. You can find any pattern that you like. It all applies to the same thing. You just pull it in and you just edit it to how you want it to look, and then you set up your tool path for the engrave and the cut. So that's how I did the cut. You've already saw in the other videos how I go about setting up the fill layer for it, and you know, you can see that's real easy. So I wasn't going to hold up a lot of time on you and show you the same thing over and over. So I figured you kind of got an idea if you watch my other videos. If you haven't seen them, then go back and watch them, because you'll be able to see how I did come up with on the internet, download them or copy them and paste them and go through all that process of setting them up and getting them all ready. But it's really not hard at all. Now, the other thing you got to do is you have to create your box with your tabs and then your slots so that you can make your base for it. The first thing you want to do is you want to start out with your tabs. Tabs, I'm going to say width of, we'll go 6 inches. That means 6 millimeters. And then the height we want to do is going to be 3, because the plywood I used, the thickness of that plywood is 3 millimeter plywood. So we're going to change that to 3. All right, now we're going to bring that one up just to kind of, go back, right click and delete. We're going to bring that kind of where I want to have it placed at, probably right about here. Then I'll just bring it straight down just so I have it where I want to have it. Now I'm going to hit Control and D, and I'm just going to bring it over to here. Hit Control D, bring it over to there. Control D, bring it over there. Depends on how many you want to have, onto how many control, how many duplicates you need to do. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ought to be more than enough. Now, the way what you can do to get these all equal, I did do a video on that. You can always go back and check that out. But you select the first one, you hit Control on your keyboard, and just keep going selecting. Now, the first one you have is what we're looking at is it's what's going to start it, and then the last one you have is what's going to finish it. Now you have this one right here, and like I said, you watch my other video, you'll be able to see that. It's going to distribute them evenly between them. So you just click that. Now they're all exactly the same between each one of these boxes. Now I don't know if that's where I want to have it set up at. Probably that looks like it's going to be pretty okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that for right this second. But now I need to create the platform for the napkins to sit on, and that was, I believe it was about 5. Let me see. Let me change that to inches. I think that was about 4. Yeah, almost 4. A little over 3.5 inches. So let's go ahead and create a box. Oh, over here, hit OK. And let's go ahead and make our box. And we want it to be, hit the selector tool, a little bit bigger than what we have with this. I usually start out with a blank one, and then I'll have my tab in line with that then. So what I'll do is I'll Control, duplicate that, bring that over. Now let's go ahead and pull these two together. Okay, now let's go ahead and, now let's see, make this a little bit smaller. Pull that into right about there. That'll work for now. Pull this one into right about there. Okay, now let's bring this up so we're not having to look so far. Okay, now you take this line, you come over here to where you see that line over there, and then you come over and you put that right on that line there. Now you know exactly how far you got to come over to get that to line up on that. Same thing over here. We're just going to pull this one over here, put that on this, click on this box, and then bring that over till that lines up on that. Okay, we don't have it quite, but let's get it right to where it is right there. That should be perfect. Now, I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger because I do need to add a duplicate over here. So we know that's going to be right in line with that. Now I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to bring that over and put that right on the corner of that one. Now let's bring this to this. Zoom it in. Let's get that right on that line. Right there. Okay, now we don't need this first one anymore, so we can get rid of that. That was just to aid so that we knew that we had the same distance on both sides, because I want my tab to start one of these in. Now, let's go ahead and select all of those and group them temporarily. No, let me ungroup them. And I want to start, they should already all be in a line because we did that earlier, but let's just make sure. Click on down through them. And let's just make sure that they are all in line, which they are. All right, now let's group these and let's pull that down. Let me use this, and let me make, we don't need another one. We can just leave that right there. Pull them off, get that corner bullseye, and bring that right on to where it snaps in there. We know we're good now. Let's leave that. Okay. Now we want to make this. We'll say 3.5. Let me change that to inches. Backspace out of that, inches, and we'll do height of 3.5. Okay, and what you can do is, let me go back out of this. If I put this right here on the top there, and now I do the 3.5. Let's see if that's. I'm still messing around with this 3.5, and it did. So by changing your position here, by changing it to the top middle, it stayed exactly the same orientation of what it was, but it stayed on the top because that's where it's showing. You got to figure that's your top, that's your middle, and that's your bottom. So it stayed on the top, and then it went down to 3.5 inches. If I go back and I change that to the bottom, it's going to go 3.5 inches up. So let's change that to 3.5 inches up. You see how it went up from where it was at on that bottom. So those points there are what's going to stop it from, or it's going to keep it moving to where you want it to move from. So by going down, we know we want to have that in the middle, the top middle, because we want it to stay there, but go down. So now we're just going to go ahead and get 3.5, and once we hit enter, it's going to bring it down. Now I want to select these, which are grouped. I want to Control D, bring that down past that. Now I want to hit Control D. I want to bring those up because we know that's the distance of what we want to have for the widthwise of them. Now let's click this, pull it back off, get that bullseye, and snap it right on that line. Okay, so that's perfect there. Now we can go ahead and get rid of this. That was just the tool line. Now let's click this, and let's put, let me come over here and click it here, and let's put that to where we want to see that slot tabs to be. What you could do is you can make another box from this corner to this corner, because that's how wide you want to have it, ish. And then you can go ahead and select these, because the first ones you click will move first, will move. So you want to select. It is not selecting what I want it to select. So go over here and cuts and layers, and let's not show. Oh, not the red, the blue. Let's not show the blue, so I can select all these now. So you're going to select all those, group them. Oh, they already are grouped. Now you want to click this box you made, because it's roughly about the same distance where that is. It's close enough. And then you want to hit to make sure that it is right in line in that box, which it is. So we know that that is going to put this right in those slots, and it's going to put them right where we want them to be. Now, these are grouped. What you got to do is, let's go ahead and Control and then select the box. Now, when we weld that, it didn't weld it because it's not quite overlapping what you want to have it overlapping. So we're going to undo this. And this is where it's kind of there's easier ways, I'm sure. And, you know, this is just the way I do it. If you know the other way, a different way, you can always drop it in the comments down below, and then I can look at it and see. But it's kind of how I do it. I just go down just a little bit. I use these things here on everything. So pull it off, bring it down. Let me zoom in a little bit more. It's just so easy using these things. It keeps me right where I want to be, and I just want to be just over that line. So now when I go to weld it, delete that. Now when I go to, I select it, control, select, weld. Now you see it welded them. Now I got to do the same thing over here. So we'll bring that line back over. Probably could have just left it there before, but that's okay. Now, bring this out. Get that bullseye, snap it on it. Let me go in just a hair more so I'm not too far off. Because we're going to change these in the Resize Slots and Tabs anyway. So you more want to be on this leveled here than what you really want to be overlapping it. But we're going to change that anyway. So now let's zoom back out, select that, and weld them together. Now we have our boxes all welded together. Now, if you click on this bullseye and you bring it in and you snap it in that line, in that box, you see it fits perfect in there. So you know you got that exactly how you want to have it. Let's pull that back off over here. Now let's go ahead and show the blue again. And you want to make sure that when you put this here that you have enough meat on the bone above it, because you know you're going to come 3 millimeters up. You don't want it to break. So I actually want to come down, unshow the blue again, and click it. And then I'm just going to come down to about there. That'll give me, because you got 3 millimeters from here to here, or 3 millimeters from here up. That's where your board's going to sit. And then you have your whatever it is up above. And it's all down below here. So I think that'll work fine right there. Let's go ahead and show the blue. And select all these, right click, and duplicate. Pull that over. Now we have both of our exact things that we need to have with them. All right, we can get rid of this one over here. I don't need that. And let's see how long we did make that. That was 3.5 inches. So that's perfect. And it goes across. If you come across with it, if you hit shift and hold shift, it'll put it in a straight line for you. And it's roughly 3.8, it's about 3.8 inches wide, a little more than 3.8 inches wide. And that's fine. That'll be good. That'll be good with the napkins that you're going to put on it. All right, let's go ahead and hit OK. And we know we duplicated this one and put it over here, so we know we have the exact same thing. All right, now, this is something that, if you haven't watched Hobo with Wood, he is somebody that you definitely want to look into and check out. He's got a real good grasp on LightBurn, on how you do things in LightBurn, creating things in LightBurn. He's real good at this. I learned a lot of my stuff by watching his videos. Louisiana Hobby Guy. There's so many I've watched out there. Clack Shack, Venatori. I mean, there's a lot of people I have watched out there, but Hobo with Wood, he's pretty good with this stuff. If you haven't checked him out, I would definitely check him out. Look at some of his videos. He's got a lot of videos, and this is what he found, and this is what he, watching his videos is what I've learned. When you're trying to do slots or tabs and slots, you have to get it to be able to have LightBurn recognize what's a slot and what's a tab. So the way he explained you to do is you go to your node editing, which if you haven't seen any of those, this whole panel here, I do have a video on that. Now you start here in this corner, that's the corner where you go. Now you go straight across that corner. If you pull this, let me pull that down. Let me go out of that. I don't do it this way, but this is how you can go about making sure you are correct. All right, now you have that line going across. If you put your node editing on now, anywhere that goes across that line, you need to put a node on the lines. Not here. You don't have to start here and here, but anywhere between. Tabs are only recognized by 4 tabs. So that's how you know, that's how you can dictate what a tab is. A slot, it has to have 4 tabs in order to be considered a tab. So you go into the middle of this here, and if you hover over this, you see where it has there M, insert node at midpoint. You just go ahead and highlight over that, hit M, it's going to put a node. Put an M between those, it's a node. Put an M for a node, and one more there. Now you come down here, you go across this line here. So if we needed to bring this down, okay, come on. Oh, because I'm on nodes. Duh. All right, bring it down, put that right across that line. Now you'll know that's your reference of where you need to be able to put your nodes. Once again, you go right across this line. There's M. Let me click on the nodes. Okay, so you're going to put an M. Let me click on the box first. Okay, now we have it. Okay, there's M. M right in the middle, and then one more. Now, you don't want this to get changed on either, so you have to put a node in between these as well. If you don't, and you try to do a slot or a tab on this, it's going to try to shrink those in. So you put an M for the middle there, M for the middle there. Now you know that they will not move. But these, wherever you have the 4 nodes, they will go either out or in. Now we can go ahead and get rid of that box. Go back to selector tool, get rid of this box, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go back into my node, and I'm going to take out this node right there. So I'm going to click on and make it red, hit D for delete. Now you'll see why you have to put those nodes in between those, because this one will not change the height. All the rest of them will, but this one right here will not change because I deleted that node between them. Now, the other thing you need to know is you have to be 100% sure what your depth is. So we know it is, let's go back to millimeters. We know it is 2.99, just about 3. So we're going to go ahead and hit 2.99. Click on this box. Tools, Resize Slots and Tools. Now, we know, cancel out of that, go back to millimeters, Tools, Resize Slots and Tabs. Now, we know that we said it was 2.99, so old material thickness is 2.99. The new material thickness, we're going to put it as, we'll embellish it, we'll make it 6. Okay? Now, you'll see how it's recognizing that as a slot depth, which it's not, because it's a tab. It protrudes out past that line. If it was this way, like it's trying to make it move, if it went this way, then that would be a slot. So this is actually, it's trying to read it because of not having that node where it is. Because if we go to tab for tab height, you're going to see it's going to have all those there. But if you also look at it, it's also going to have that slot depth, which we do not want to have. So let's cancel out of that, go back into node editing, and let's put our node right back where that is. Okay, so now we know we have that. Now, tools, resize slots and selections, and slot width. It's not showing a slot because they're not slots. Tab, it's showing all those as tabs. That's what you want to have. Now, let's click apply and OK. All right, so once again, you have to know what your distance is. Ruler, and just highlight one of them. 6 millimeters. And if you look at them, they're all 6 millimeters. You look all the way across there, they're all 6 millimeters. So we know the old material thickness is 6 millimeters. So if you get a piece of plywood and it's 2 millimeters thick, then you know that's how you're going to have to change it, because you don't want to use the 6mm because it's going to stick way out past those slots. So you have to change these tabs to fit your slots. So once again, this is how you do it. You highlight what you have. You know it is 6mm because we just measured it. Tools, Resize Slots and Selection, and then change the old material thickness was 6. New material thickness is, I change everything to 3. I always start everything at 3. That's usually the thickness of the plywood I use. So everything I create is always 3. So I know whenever I go to change it to whatever it actually is, 2.6, 2.8, I know I change everything by having to start out at 3. I can change everything to whatever the actual thickness of that plywood is. So tab height, they're all highlighted and all showing in because we want it to be 3mm. It was twice as long. Hit apply and OK. Now, that is now 3mm tabs, as you can see right here. Oop. It's 3mm tabs, as you can see right there. Now, the other thing you have now is you have these slots also. So we need to click on my slots. All right, I'm going to have to go back here and unshow that. Click on my slots. Click on my slots because we want to change both of them. Okay, and we know that the thickness is, okay, 3mm. That's what we put it as. But I want to change that to, let's say, 4mm. So it's the same principle. You highlight both of these selections, and you can do your tabs and your slots all together. You just have to highlight everything together. You just have to highlight it all together. Now, we can show it again. We have everything all highlighted together. Tools, Resize Slots and Selection. Now, old material's 3. New material is 4. Now, if we do the tab height, there's your tab height. If we do the slot width, wait, what up? Cancel, because you have to have those ungrouped. Let's go ahead and click off that. Click this, and ungroup. Okay, you cannot change them if they are grouped. So let's go ahead and select them all. And tools, slots in selection, 3. Let's bring this over, move it in a little bit so you can see a little better. Okay, now slot width, there you see it's changing it. Okay, so now you know it's going to be skinnier. It's going to be actually thicker now than the 3 because we're trying to move it to 4 instead of 3. This way, when these fit in there, they'll fit in there nice and snug, and they'll fit in there tight. So that's how you change all your slots and tabs. But that's it for and then you hit apply, and then if you was to do the tab heights, you can change those again, and you can hit apply, and now it changed everything to, instead of 3mm, everything's now 4mm. Like I said, when I create things, all my slots and tabs are always 3mm, and I'll change it from there. And then you hit OK. Now everything is changed to the 4mm, and you can just verify by looking at it, and you can see right there 4mm, and that tab height is 4mm. So there you have it. All right, let's show this again, and that's it. A real easy project. Biggest thing is just getting your slots and tabs and getting them, how I showed you, how do you arrange them, and you start the one where you want it, and then the last one you click, all the rest in the middle will move equally spaced in between that. And I have a video on that. Like I said, you can always go back out there and look at that video. It's a long video, but it's got a lot of information on it, a lot of basic information. It's not really meant for expert folks, although probably some folks have been doing it for a while might get a few ideas or a few new things that maybe they didn't understand or didn't know. So it's definitely worth to look at it, and that's under my LightBurn tutorial. I think it's part 2. I think is what it was. Yeah, because the first one was this, and then the second one, yeah, was these across here, and that has to deal with all these things up here. So if you haven't seen that video, I definitely would check it out. Just go back to my channel and click on. You can click on the libraries, and you'll be able to see that one that has LightBurn libraries part 2. So, but that's how you set this up. It's as easy as that, and then from there you just send it over to your laser machine, and you burn it, cut it, put it together. And I showed you before on, how you put them all together, what it looks like in the very beginning of this video. So I'm not going to go back over that, but you can stain it. You can paint them. Like I said, I wouldn't stain the inside of the wood because your napkins are going to fit in there. They're going to sit on that, but I would definitely stain the exterior side of it, or at least paint it, stain it, whatever. But yeah, that's anything you want, and you can have these set up for kids so the kids can do it. The kids can sit down at a table and they can paint these or color them however they want to color them. You can make a bunch of them and let the kids have something to do Thanksgiving Day. But that's it. Real short video. Hope you all learned something. Hope you all liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. It helps immensely to me. Trying to get this to grow, but I can't grow without you. So if you guys can just go ahead and, if you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up, give me subscribe, and drop me some comments down below. Nobody ever comments on anything. They either click out the thumbs, they like it, and they just go about their way. I mean, tell me something. Give me some feedback. It really helps out a lot. But give me the thumbs up and likes helps out a lot as well too. So I hope you all like this. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. We got Christmas coming up. Well, we already had one video on a Christmas ornament. I'll see if I can come up with maybe something like this for a Christmas tree, or maybe a snowman or something like that. But that's it. You guys stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you.